You guys think I can just casually walk in here and do a barbarian chain while I'm talking to you guys and having a nice video about it? I guess we'll find out if I can take care of it. What's going on, guys? My name is Igni Flair. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Today's topic video idea is the logic bank and what he uploaded a month ago. He talked in his video about how Belisarius is the commander he would start with if he was to restart again. And I guess rightfully so, he got a lot of flame for that video. Now, I technically agree with him on a lot of things, and this is also one of those things I agree with him on. I just know that in this type of community where the meta is very, I guess, set in stone for the early game, there's not too many changes and too many like differing opinions. It's either Sun Tzu or nothing, and that's the way it's always going to be. It doesn't matter which community you ask in, if you're on Reddit or Discord or Twitter or Alliance chat, Kingdom chat, whatever the case is. Oops, let me get back here. Whatever the case is, they're always going to tell you that Sun Tzu is the best commander to start with, and they're right. He is the best commander to start with. At least insofar as picking a primary commander that's going to get you far. Did I salvage that? Oh, I did. A commander that's going to get you far and take you into KVK 1 and be very useful for you. However, in the video that the Logic Bank uploaded, he spoke very clearly about why he would take Belisarius. Now, I don't necessarily agree with his reasoning for taking Belisarius, but I do agree with the idea of taking Belisarius. So let me explain. First, I'm just going to send out some gatherers here. Strategic reserve is going on right now, so we need to be on the map. Oh, God, 3k. Ugh. Please. Okay, that's better. All right. I don't agree with the idea that you should be using him as a hit and run gatherer killer type commander. Now, he is good for that, obviously, but what I think his main purpose is, and the main reason why Belisarius is so valuable as a commander in the epic tier, is because of how quick he is and how much he can get done in comparison to everybody around him. Now, the thing is, Sun Tzu is the type of commander that it doesn't matter if you start with him, you're still going to be able to max him before KVK 1 anyway. I believe a high efficiency free-to-play player can get 3 epic commanders expertise, or 3 to 4 expertise before KVK, and Sun Tzu can definitely be that. You can also get him to 60, and that's perfectly fine. Even if you were to start with Belisarius, you don't need to get him you need to expertise him, but you don't need to get him to level 60. You can still put most of your effort into your Sun Tzu, which, as you guys see, mine is very low level. I don't like Sun Tzu as a commander. He's not my cup of tea. I don't enjoy using him at all. I'm a Kusunoki kind of guy. I like archers. I play with archers. That's what I do. So even though I like Sun Tzu and I know that he is a really good commander, he's not my cup of tea. I would much rather invest in Belisarius, even though I haven't done that either. But we'll get into that in a little bit. The thing about Belisarius that's so good is his speed, and the fact that he can get a lot done beyond the map as much as possible, and basically control everything that you would need to control for your account to progress normally. See, with Sun Tzu, it doesn't really matter if you're scoring well in Canyon, it doesn't really matter if you're getting further in Expedition. Most of those are just troop checks anyway. The higher level your commander is, the higher tier of troops you have, the more stats you have. You're going to progress through those missions easily, regardless of if you have Sun Tzu or not. It doesn't matter. You're still going to get past them if you get your troops to the right spot. But with Belisarius, you take advantage of something that's much better, and that's his speed, and that's the ability to control the map and to take all of these objectives. The thing is, you take him, you run him around the map faster than anybody can possibly move, and you clear these barbarian camps as much as you can. You get everything done. He's an objective monster. And if you're a high efficiency free-to-play player, meaning you have as much of your effort and time into being efficient as possible, you want that. A Sun Tzu is going to slug around. He's still going to just move very slowly and inefficiently around the map. And even if you were to try to move him around to get all these camps, if you were to even try to use somebody like Lohar or Markswoman, like I did at the beginning of my jump account, it's never going to compare with what Belisarius can do. And when you go into his talent trees, he has just so much march speed. You have the 6% here, 9% here. There's a bit more march speed somewhere over here, I believe. I don't know where it went. Right there, there's more march speed. You have more march speed from charge. You have more march speed up here and over here. And I believe there might be some more somewhere at the beginning. So he has so much march speed. He's so fast. And obviously, I would recommend running the speed build. I don't like using Belly for PvP content per se. I think he's much better as a PvP commander, or PvE commander, sorry. Using him for forts, using him for barbarian camps, other PvE content where you just need a really strong commander to take out PvE content. He's insane for that. And that's the way that you want to elevate your account, because it doesn't matter if you have a Sun Tzu at the beginning, you're still going to be able to max him before KVK and before fighting starts. But when you have a really strong Belisarius at the beginning of the game, you're able to control so much of the map and to gather so much of the resources that are available to you only if you're fast enough and efficient enough to get them. And I think that Belisarius is the only commander in the epic tier that gives you that. So as far as the logic bank and what he said in regards to PvP content and hitting and running and taking advantage of this skill here, which is obviously an insane skill, he's right. It does work. You can play that way, but I still don't think Belisarius is the type of commander you should pick if you want to do PvP as like a main focus. There's much better commanders in the epic tier, mainly obviously Sun Tzu, but I wouldn't focus heavily on this as like a PvP content idea. Like I don't know why you would want to invest everything into like a fast march where you just kind of like run away from big fights and go and pick off weak targets. That seems like a very counterproductive thing to do. Like you win field by being in murder balls and by open fielding with your team and using powerful AoE to destroy your opponents. So sure, it's useful to run around and take out weak targets and kill gatherers and stuff, but I don't think that's where your main focus should be as far as PvP content goes. You want to have a commander that's powerful, that is tanky and does lots of damage in group fights, which is why Sun Tzu and Ethelflaed is probably the most recommended and most powerful free-to-play open field march. And I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm not saying anything to the contrary. Sun Tzu is extremely powerful. He has his reputation for a reason. He is very strong. But if you do start with Belly, you can still change to China at City Hall 10 when you get the civilization change. And then you can still use the building speed and progress your account normally as you would any other account. And to be fair, it doesn't really make a huge difference if you start China or not, because the 5% building speed is going to be useless for a jumper anyway. And from level 8 until 10, you're really not saving that much from 5% building speed. It's more in the later end, going from 17 to 25, where you really notice that 5%. So even if you start with Byzantium to get Belisarius and you swap to China at 10, you're really not losing any efficiency off the building speed or anything like that. So that's where I come in on all this. That's where I kind of draw the line of what I think. If he was to restart, if the Logic Bank was to restart and start with Belisarius, I think he would actually be set up to do really well. You just need to be a very high efficiency player. You need to make sure that you're always on the map, always doing something, and always being productive. Otherwise, if you're not, and you're just kind of a generalist that just goes through the motions, I don't know why I'm doing that. If you're just a generalist that goes through the motions and you're kind of just fine doing whatever, then you're not going to get the value out of starting Belisarius. You need to start with him. You need to have like a very strong and well thought out plan in how you're going to use him, and then you have to execute that plan daily. Otherwise, you may as well just start with Sun Tzu because he's a generalist and you're not going to do bad by starting with him. You need to be very efficient if you start with Belisarius, and then he's a great pick for you. Otherwise, you're better off just starting with Sun Tzu. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for stopping by. My name is Flair. This has been an incredible honor. A lot of people in my alliance even sent out a little chat, a little message here, kind of shouting me out, which I think is really awesome. I didn't ask for that. They just did it for me anyway. Really great people. I love you guys so much. My name is Flair. Take care.